STEM skills in general for research and innovation is another area we'll be mentioning in our strategy submission. And this goes right through to school-aged postgraduate. There are definitely problems in terms of the supply of high-quality STEM students into the research and innovation environment in business. But it's not just about STEM. You know, innovation in business is not just about STEM, it's not just about R&D. In fact, R&D spending as a proportion of overall innovation spending in business is about, I think, 11% of their overall spending on innovation. Design is about 16% of their overall spending on innovation. They spend an awful lot more on accessing external knowledge, on buying in software and machinery to do with innovation, to upskill and to tool up. So it's not just about R&D, it's not just about STEM, we need to look at other things too. And we're going to be suggesting that one of the biggest gaps that perhaps hasn't been addressed so far is management capabilities around innovation. And as a snapshot of that, I had a discussion with some IP lawyers in Cambridge a little while ago, and they were bemoaning the fact that a lot of companies they deal with just don't understand IP. Not how to file a patent and register a trademark, but how to use IP to actually build a business strategy and make commercial sense out of that. And so we thought, well, maybe there's something wrong here in terms of the business school training that they're getting. So we did a look at all the online prospectuses for the UK business schools and searched for terms such as IP, risk and innovation. And I believe we found that only 1 out of 44 of the business school prospectuses we can see online had anything to do with IP as a core element of its courses. 1 out of 44. 25%, I think 3 more had it in elective modules. About 25% seem to cover risk and innovation, but again, there's only 25%. I think they should all be covering risk and innovation. I'd like to see a lot more coverage of IP strategy in there too. Right, now I've left this little bit to the end. I'm not going to talk for my half an hour, but the last little bit at the end. Last but not least, we will be definitely pushing on governments to continue efforts to strengthen business-university collaboration. We want to build business engagement as part of the everyday practice in universities, widening the number of businesses engaged, extending links with the research and technology sector as well, to help increase the flow of research and innovation and knowledge into innovation in business. Now, you in the university sector are undergoing a significant period of change. We recognise that the Brown Review shift towards a student-centric approach will be challenging. We know you've already had lots of cuts in capital spending as well. Ultimately, I think this is a period of change. Ultimately, I think the sector will adapt, it will flourish. We have a lot of world-class universities already, you will make a good go of it. My favourite ranking of world universities is the QS scale, which includes an element of business quality in there as well. And on that scale, we have 50. So we have 14 universities in the top 50. And the only other country that does any better than us is the USA with 16. The next ones behind us, I think France and Australia only have 4 each in the top 50. So we do very, very well. Now let's build on that. It's not just about those top universities. There are some fantastic pockets of excellence around the rest of the UK as well. I want to make sure the government doesn't forget that in terms of university funding. Again, we had a look at the REE ratings of 2008. REE is not perfect, I don't particularly like the REE. We prefer the rest, which has business elements in there. But anyway, looking at the REE ratings from 2008, 51 universities in the UK have between 1 and 5 units, where more than a quarter of staff are graded as 4 star. That's very good. It's a huge base of world-class excellent research. We should be building on that rather more. Looking at the headkey statistics on business university engagement, I picked out that last year we had 73,000 formal links between business and universities, things like consultancy, contract research, facilities and equipment services, etc. Very good. On the SME side, for example, it was up 22% in consultancy contracts, so well done. But only 15% of businesses so far link up with universities for their innovation activities. That's from the Community Innovation Survey. Whereas 40% of them link up with their suppliers or clients or customers. So there's a big difference between, they know their business partners perhaps more easily than they do universities, there's a challenge to get up from that 15%, but I would urge you to go for it. We very much support the move towards user relevance and impact with coming with research councils and funding councils. Personally though, and this is terrible, I'm now going to draw a straight line from 2 points. I've been involved in reviewing proposals recently with research councils twice, and in both cases I've seen the impact element at the end of the day not getting perhaps higher as the commission as it should have done. So I think there's a challenge there in terms of turning good words into actual practice on the ground. Well, what I would urge you is to go back and talk to your colleagues in universities and say that if you want to get better proposals through into the research council system, then it's no good just tacking a letter on at the end of the day saying business X supports this proposal. When you read proposals, it's very easy to see straight away which ones have been written from the start with business engaged. And you can see them throughout the proposal, not just as a letter of support at the end of the day. That does make a difference. We particularly like things like QR business. We think that does make a difference for universities in terms of flagging up who's been involved in business-university collaboration, building those links. We'd like to see more of that within a great proportion of QR funding allocated towards that. Richard Lambert, in his eponymous review in 2003, I think said it should be around the 100 to 200 million mark a year. And I think that would be a good aim to go for. We like HEAF. We like £150 million a year. We want that to continue. Use it wisely. We want it to take it away. Hopefully it'll be permanent, but we'll see. And let's just say about open innovation, talk about collaboration. From a business perspective, that's all about open innovation. It's about not doing everything yourself, it's about making linking universities and other partners to share some of the risk, bring in knowledge from different places, and to do something with that. Now, a few years ago, open innovation might well have been seen as being different, something special, something a few companies might do. I don't think that's the case anymore, even if the statistics don't particularly back it up at the moment. Every time I go and talk to companies, they're talking about open innovation in one form or another. It is new, it is the norm, it's what they're doing. It isn't special anymore, it's part of everyday business. So there's open doors there for universities to get engaged with businesses. Definite challenge though to get more small and mid-sized businesses engaged. I've spoken to a couple of mid-sized businesses recently who I thought ought to be engaged with universities, have all sorts of clever ideas and want to expand in the future, but don't know who to talk to, don't know where to turn. So I'd urge you to try a bit harder to get out to see some of them and make those connections. Maybe even making connections through supply chain partners for the big companies you might already be working with. I think there's a real sort of benefit we can get there in the future. Right, I thought I'd end with 4 little sort of quotes about the relationship at the moment between business and universities from various bits of discussions I've had and consultations with members over the last few weeks. So here goes. This is hopefully will cheer you up and then maybe not at the very end. So the first one, the big problems are not in the UK. This is about business-university collaboration. Big problems are not in the UK. That's good. The UK is compares very well to the rest of Europe. Again, well done. Universities in this country doing very well engaging in business. Right, and then 2 ones which are perhaps a little bit harder to deal with. One-to-one relationships are good, but it's more of a challenge getting 2 departments or 2 universities working together with us on a problem. You know, this is what businesses are looking for. They're not looking necessarily for one-to-one relationships. They want to bring all sorts of knowledge, ideas, skills, experience together to create an innovative product, process, service at the end of the day. You guys have to work better together, otherwise you're not going to get the business. Companies will go and look in places like China. And then finally, we asked members in a bit of a sort of consultation about business-university interactions, and I quoted back to them something that David Willits had said in a note that he'd circulated to us. David Willits had described university-business interactions as fragile in the UK. These are David Willits' words, so have to me, that's what he says. So I asked members, do you agree? And this is one of the responses I got back. This is very polite. Despite hefty encouragement, the general sector has been playing at this. And despite improving KPIs, as used by the likes of Adrian Smith in his review, this has been a matter of lots of activity rather than impact. There's not been any substantial structural change, simply chasing the funding that's available. Okay? That's the impression of one of our CPI members. That was the impression of one of our CPI university members talking about the system. The good points I mentioned all came from businesses. The bad points I mentioned all came from universities. So clearly there's a little bit of a challenge there in terms of looking back at yourself and thinking, I wonder how others see us, I wonder how we could improve ourselves. Don't do yourself down too much. I think there's some good work out there in terms of connection with business. Obviously there's some progress that can still be made. So I'll leave that with you and maybe we can pick up some questions and answers at the end. Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to invite the next speaker up. Just to make it clear, we're going to have a question and answer session with all four speakers at the end of this session. So partly my objective here is to get through the business as quickly as I can. I'd like to welcome the next speaker to the platform. It's David Ray. He's the Director of Knowledge Exchange and Special Projects at the Technology Strategy Board. And I guess we're all very aware of the Technology Innovation Centre's proposals and actual practices emerging from TSB, and I think that